All right, welcome to the BAI podcast. Today we have a star-studded cast. Joining us, Taylor. She's the queen of destination dreams, the maestro of Mexico, and the person most likely to get a free tequila shot for walking into a resort.
Go.
I love that, right? Taylor Pappett. I'm so used to saying Taylor Martz. I still can't get that out of my mind.
I know.
Yeah, forgive me if I refer to you as Taylor Martz because it's never going to go away.
Nope. That's why it's in my signatures.
When she's not crafting social media magic, she's making travel dreams a reality. She's got more insights into the industry than a resort bartender on their third shift. Julia Morrow joins us as well. Julia with JM Destinations by Design. Taylor, I forgot Vibe Thrive Travel to give that shout out, but sorry. Back over to Julia. Julia, welcome.
Thank you.
Finally, the man, the myth, the vacation making machine. He knows more about luxury resorts than most people know about their own hometowns. And if there's a beach, a cabana, or a cocktail nearby, you can bet he's already got the perfect itinerary planned. Some say he was born in a swim up suite, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tim.
It's always sunny down in Mexico. The sun gets high when I get low. The only way to get there is to let yourself go. Good times are made in Mexico.
All right. So today we are going to start off diving into our wedding related, resort related topics. We're going to start with Taylor. What you got?
Well, I feel like you should know what I'm going to go with, which is what is the difference between a destination wedding planner and us, a destination wedding specialist?
Oh my God.
Was that going to be
Like the
yours?
topic of the day, right?
I know. I know.
So much misinformation surrounding that.
So much.
I'll say I feel like a planner, they're more helping support you with like the nitty-gritty parts of your actual wedding day. Whereas like us, we're helping on the pre-wedding day stuff as like the travel side of things, the room block side of things, connecting you with the wedding coordinator, but actual planner is helping you like with colors, with plates, with chargers, and they're actually there on site wedding day, which I feel like that's a huge difference. And it often gets confused between the two that we sometimes help plan the weddings too, but I feel like a lot of people have that idea, but then also a lot of couples also realize that they don't need a planner, but because between the travel agent and the on-site wedding coordinator of the resort, if they aren't like super type A needing the planning done months and months ahead of time, they're usually fine between the two of us. So I feel like it also depends on the type of person who needs a planner.
Yeah, Julia, I think it so much depends, right? And there's resorts we work with that I almost say like 90% of the resorts we work with, the weddings teams on site are great. But it does depend on the specific bride and what their expectations are. Because some brides want to start planning a year out. And if you're using the resort's wedding planner, you're not going to start planning a year out. You're going to start planning probably 3 months in, 3 months before your event. And that's normal. But they do so many weddings that's like clockwork for them.
It's got to be nerve-wracking, though. I mean, I get it for the brides that want to do it ahead of time and early, because I would like to have it set and like forget about it. But like, I totally get that. I would be freaking out.
But that's the thing is like that's what's the difference between the wedding planner and us and Julie, you're right. Like the wedding planners, they're the ones that are like, okay, what is the style of the reception setup? What type of chargers do you want? Or do you want chargers at all? Do you want uplighting? Do you want like what? And they're setting the overall vibe to the actual event, where we're more like figuring out what resort is going to be the best for them and what resort's going to fit their budget, their guest budget, all of those things, have the right locations. And it's a challenging point. I don't know how many of you guys have it, but how many times do you have a couple fall in love with a wedding setup versus a resort and a location?
Do not get me started on that.
But that's the thing, right? It's like, you find these photos on Instagram and you're like, oh, look at this wedding setup. It's amazing. And it's like, the wedding setup can be done anywhere in any location. So it's like when you're choosing a resort, you got to look at those locations. So we're not planners as far as a traditional wedding planner, but we work hand in hand. In some aspects, we are in figuring out where you're going to get married.
Yeah, helping with the venues, where we always are helping with the venues. And I always tell people, I'm like, look at us as like your support, your advocate. Like if you're trying to get conversation or emails back from the resort, like we're there for you, like loop us in, like we're we can be there with you throughout that whole process. But when it comes to the wedding packages, and even then we can still give you our input and we can kind of go over that with you. But the resort wedding planners, coordinators, whatever you want to call them, are going to be like the experts in that. But at the same time, so I would say for me, a lot of my couples, and one thing that I almost would say I regret was like not having, and this is not something that's required. So this goes to what Julia said about the type of groom that you are and what you're looking for. So like for me, I would have actually loved to have like a day of wedding planner that was like not from the resort, that was with me all day, that just made me feel at ease, because timeline is everything and just those little details. So, but again, it's not something that's a requirement, but it is a nice to have. I also will say there's all these people out there that want to call themselves, oh, I'm a travel agent and a wedding planner, and they live in Minnesota. Like if you want an actual wedding planner that you're going to spend money on, get yourself a local wedding planner. They are absolutely amazing. Just like with local photographers, they do amazing work. They can get you with the local vendors. They know in terms of cost. Like these people that are in the States, they're genuinely not going to know, for the most part. So that's what I feel about it.
So actually, I had a thought, like throwing back. No, I 100% agree with the on-site people, because people in destination are going to be immensely more knowledgeable about how things work down there. But I wanted to throw back to the idea of like the difference between wedding planning being like the table sets and the flowers and the plates and the decor and everything. Like while I would be freaking out, my job, I feel as a destination wedding specialist and travel agent, is to tell you, hey, this is how it's done. This is okay.
Yeah.
Like this is normal. You know what I mean? And make you understand that this is how things are done, and you don't have to freak out because we got you.
Yeah, and I always wonder though, because it's like it's not like our couples have done. Some of them have, but most of them haven't done a wedding before, and so it's like Taylor just looked somewhere else. But they haven't been through that process before, and so this really is, for the majority of them, it's all new to them. So I wonder, it's like, and it's not like they're looking at a local venue to do a local wedding. So I think it's just they don't know what they don't know. And you're right. I mean, that's where it's our job to come and guide them. It's a different role than a wedding planner. But there's so many people out there that call themselves wedding planners and travel agents. And I'm like, for marketing purposes, I'm like, oh, that's great. From that standpoint, it probably helps them bring in business. But the vast majority of them are not diving into those details of actual wedding planning. They're helping in the resort selection. They're doing exactly what we do for everybody, but they're not getting into the actual details and actual event coordination of things. That's usually on site or through outside, third-party wedding planners. So we work with as well. That's a misconception as well, is that if you want wedding planning services, we do that. I don't personally do it. Taylor, you don't personally do it. Tim, we all don't personally do it, but we have the relationships with all the wedding planners we've been working with for years in destination, and we're going to offer that as a service as well. If you want that wedding planning, okay, that's not part of our free services, but we can absolutely do it and connect you with the right people for it.
That's just a huge benefit to Team BAI. Like we have so many local connections, like with photographers, videographers, hair and makeup. Like we have so many personal connections where that's just a benefit for brides and couples, because a lot of the times it is their first time planning a destination wedding and they're not going to know local vendors in Mexico. So I feel like just having a travel agent being able to help connect you with those type of vendors and reliable vendors is a huge plus to working with a travel agent.
All right, next question.
Mine's not really a question. It's more of a topic of a recent situation that we had going on. So I thought it would be good for us to kind of describe our process at the beginning stages of a destination wedding, where it comes to the room block deposit and all of that, and then also what other deposits they can expect on the wedding side as well. Because at the initial upfront, there are 2 deposits that couples have to think about. But my main topic was for the room block deposits, because as the Be All Inclusive team, the way that we work with room block deposits is we offer, say it's a $5,000 deposit, typically our room blocks are $100 per room. So if it's a $5,000 deposit, that will then get put towards your reservation. And the way that our team does it is if your reservation doesn't match the $5,000, then you just get automatically refunded back the difference. And we recently found out that other agencies are not doing the same thing. So I thought it would be a good topic for us to discuss how other agents are working and brides should be aware of.
Yes,
What?
yes.
That's the thing? What are they doing with it?
Oh, but Taylor, I don't know if you. So I found this from a bride that I was working with. I think I think there was I don't know if it was a pricing issue or there might have been another incentive or something that I think it was another incentive that another agency was offering. And so, but she wanted to work with me after having a consult with her and whatnot. And so she said, "Hey, can you guys match this or whatever?" And I took a look. I said, "Hey, send me over the full proposal, whatever, as we normally do." And I think that's a misconception. We can always match anything. It's really not. It's not us setting these terms. It's it's the resort. But so we need to go to the resort and find out what the deal is. So she sent me the proposal, and I was looking through the small print on it. And exactly like she said, let's say the incentives, the room block, the comp room amount that the couple earns is $7,000, but the couple's reservation was only $3,000. The way that
Wait, you said that wrong.
no, that was right. The couple's reservation is $3,000.
No, but you said there are incentives, like the money they get back from the rooms booked, not just their deposit. Isn't it just the deposit?
No, it's the entire incentives.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
that's even worse then.
Oh, it's much worse.
Yeah.
It's much worse. And so if the couple's reservation was $3,000 and their incentives were $7,000, let's say the couple's reservation was $3,000 and their incentives were $7,000 in comp value that they should get back, this contract had it written, and it's in the small print, you could barely see it, but it had it written that you would only get up to the amount of your reservation back. So that couple would only get $3,000 back, not $7,000. So whereas with us, they get their $3,000 that we refund, and then the additional $4,000 that we owe them because it's something they earned, we write a check for that. So I brought that to her attention. I said, just FYI, this line here is a little shady. So, and I said, I reached out to the resort. We're still going to match that extra incentive that they got as well. And so we ended up closing the deal, but absolutely insane. There's no way a bride would have picked up on that. And this was a major agency that does a ton of business.
So does this agency, they'll keep the extra overflow cash for both the deposit and the incentive money?
Now, I don't know if it impacted the deposit. I have to go back to that contract. It was
Okay.
absolutely for the incentive money, which is just insane, though.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
Insane.
All right. So, anything else to add to that? Oh, wait. Yeah. Reaction. Anything else?
I think it's just a reminder to just like, if you see something, ask us about it, send it to us. Like, don't assume that we can't do it for you. That's like one of the biggest things.
I don't know if you guys do, but I find that a lot with the difference between contractor groups and flex groups. It's always frustrating for us, and we try to avoid that by really having a consultation, meeting our clients, understanding what's important to them, and figuring out what their priorities are. But every once in a while, you find out, hey, you didn't close this deal, you didn't close this wedding because they decided to go with somebody else who didn't charge a deposit. And I'm like, whoa. We cannot do a deposit as well. It's not the best idea for you, and here's why. Because you're not going to hold those rooms. You're not going to hold that inventory. You're not going to hold the rates. The resort may sell out tomorrow, and I may come in with another group that wants all the rest of the inventory at the resort, and your guests are screwed. But at least let us explain that to you, and so it's like, this is why we do the consults, because if not paying a deposit is important to you, relay that to us. I'll tell you why. I mean, the truth of the matter is, though, these are big contracts. Like, this is not something to enter in lightly. It is. I'm happy when people ask me all those questions because they really need to understand what they're getting into.
They feel bad sometimes. They're like, I'm really sorry, or I'm probably asking, and I'm like, no, these are literally the questions that you should be asking me. Like, please ask me. It's okay. Like, you're not going to ask a dumb question. Like, I want you, like you said, I want you to understand, because God forbid something comes up. I want you to remember that this question that you asked me that we talked about. So
Yeah, I actually think it is super good when they ask questions, because I feel like a lot of the time this is second nature information to us. So like, there's something small that we think like, oh yeah, that's common sense. Whereas like, that just might not be a known fact to them. So like, they might be bringing questions to us that we might have not even wanted to address with them. So I just feel like, having the open communication and like having them ask the questions. It's better to know than not know, because like we know the contracts inside out, whereas to them it's the first time reading any sort of this type of information.
I agree. All right, halftime. Our halftime show today is going to be full of questions.
The only one I remember is the tattoo one.
If you were required by law to get a tattoo today, what would it be, where, and why?
Yeah, if I were to get one required today, I think I would get it right above my kneecap on my lower thigh, and it would be the coordinates to my up north cottage, because it'd be like a little memento to my grandpa. Either that, or I would get a pair of ski sticks on the back of my arm, and that would also be for my grandpa, because those were like our two places, skiing and going to the cottage.
I was really going to hope you were saying, once you said the position of it, I was really hope you were going to say you're going to match Tim's tattoo.
No, I'm not getting a bee's knee.
I saw one the other day. I don't know if I said it to you guys. I saw one the other day that was like above the knee. It was like, it's Brit, and then it was knee, bit.
Yeah. Taylor, have you seen the bee's knees?
No.
All right, I gotta have to show you.
Show it.
Julia, do not get one there.
All right.
It is like, no. Oh
the
my
bee's
God.
knee.
I can't.
I just think it would look cute when I worked out. Yeah, but the thigh one would look so cute when I work out and wear my shorts.
All right. Well, that was a great answer to that topic. Tim, did you get a chance to review any of these questions?
No.
All right. Well,
I
I'll
did
give
not.
it to you right now. So you obviously know the first question. The second question is, what's the worst excuse you've ever used to get out of something? And the third question that you can pick from is, what's a fashion choice from your past that you deeply regret?
Oh, I'll do that one. So, let's just start this by saying I got bullied a lot at 5th grade through middle school and into high school. There was a beautiful girl, and I'm talking like she was in Homicide, from what I understand.
Oh, the show. Okay. She wasn't into Homicide.
No. She was in the show Homicide when we were in elementary school, and my dream was to become an actor. Like, I really wanted to do it. And it's still like I still want to be in a movie to this day. It's like a thing, but I wanted her to notice me. She was a year older, and people in 4th grade don't talk to people in 5th grade. It's like not a thing. But I knew who she was, and I was like, I'm going to stand out. This chick wore a particular style of pants.
Jinkos?
Would have been totally okay if I was living in the 70s, the 80s. But I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I want a pair of these pants. Because I want her to notice me, so I want a pair of these pants, and I'll wear them to school, and she'll notice, because she's the only one in school that wears these. And so my mom bought me a pair of bell-bottoms that had flowers, like, stitched into the bottom. And I was fucking stoked. Dude, I was so excited to wear these freaking bell bottoms to school because she was gonna know. She was gonna notice. I was gonna have the courage to walk up and talk to her. She was like easily the prettiest girl in school. I'm like, I'm good. She noticed. Maybe because I walked up and said, "Hey, we got the same pants." Just saying.
You're taking too much time. Taylor, which question?
I'm going to go with the tattoo one, and it's very easy. I would do I say it's very easy, and I'm like, well, wait. Probably like, I don't know, William's birthday or something, my son's birthday, something cute, Roman numerals. And where would I put it? Somewhere you can't see it. Probably like right here on my side. Hidden.
That would hurt.
Yeah, I actually have one over here, and it hurt really bad.
That'd be cute though.
It would.
I fell asleep during my rib tattoo.
Okay, something's wrong with you.
All right, Taylor. That's very cliche.
I know.
Yeah. So cliche.
Well, and then I was like, okay, and I'll tell you about a style that I regret. I don't know. You know how people do like the cute winged eyeliners? I don't know why my friends did not tell me that I was doing it completely wrong and terrible, because when I look at my pictures from like, I don't know, I don't know how old I am, but we'll just say before 2020. So like probably 17, 18, I had terrible winged eyeliner and nobody told me. So that was a style. I know it's not clothes, but it's still a style.
The next topic of the day. Guys, how many resorts is the right amount of resorts to send to a client looking for a destination wedding?
I would say it depends. on how many destinations they're looking at, right? So like if they're looking at like Punta Cana, Cancun area, and I don't know, Puerto Vallarta, I feel like when you're at that point, like maybe 3 to 4 for each destination, which is still like overwhelming, but at that point they do need that. But if it's like one destination, maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 max to start, and then see what their vibe is, what they're liking, what they're not liking, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I think an argument can be made that at what point is it options overload? Because even if we send 5 or 6, I mean, the idea is that when we're talking to a client, we're doing a consult, we're really getting to know them, and we really should try to be able to focus in on what it is specifically that would be a good match for them. So I think the argument, because I was talking to a colleague about this the other day, and he's like, 2 to 3 max. And he's like, because otherwise people think it's options overload and they caught making no decision. And I was like, you know what? That's a really good point. I don't know what's right. I tend to send too many resorts, I think, but it's just,
But it
you think
depends
it
on the
varies with
couple
every
too,
person?
though. You kind of get like after talking to the couple, I feel like you also get a feel of them. Like there's some that like if I send them 2 to 3, they're gonna be like, "What are you doing? I need more." So like I just think that you have to kind of feel them out and see what makes sense. Because I know when I do send, like you're saying, like if you do send a lot, I know that I'm always saying like, I'm sorry if this is too much, but that's usually when it's in different destinations. So it feels to me overwhelming. So I'm just like, oh, this is a lot. You know what I mean? But I really do think it's dependent on the couple. I wouldn't say going overboard though. Like I've heard of like people sending like 15 resorts, like abso-freaking-lutely not. Like unless you're, it's 5 for each destination, but that's still over the top.
Yeah. Tim, Julie, any thoughts on your experience?
I feel like 4 to 5 is kind of the sweet spot because I feel like if we send 2 to 3, they're kind of like almost like, well, what are they holding back out on? Like, what aren't they sending me? So in that way, I feel like 4 to 5 kind of also gives them a range too, because like you could give them a range of pricing and all of that, and then it also like kind of shows them the quality of the resorts too with different pricing. So I feel like being able to compare like a short list makes it a little bit easier to do a resort selection, having things to compare against too.
I agree on both parts. I have sent people 3 resorts before because I really think that that really hones in on what they're looking for because they give me more detail. But some people are all over the place, and I guess I want to send them 6 options and be like, hey, let me know what you think about each one of these. Because me asking them questions really didn't give me an idea of what they're actually looking for, and maybe just giving them more resorts and having them give me feedback on what they're looking at would give me the answers that I'm looking for and kind of be able to allow me to hone in a little bit better.
I will say though, when they are undecisive about like destinations in general, I feel like it is easier to send 1 to 2 per destination because I feel like just sending 1 or 2 that allows them to like focus in on the actual destination that they want, and then you can move forward with sending more resorts in that location. But I feel like that's the only way that I would send like 1 to 2.
I feel like there's a little bit of a reluctance for them to come back after we send them initial things if they don't find what they like. I for some reason, even though I prompt them to say, hey, give me the goods and the bads of what you're seeing in these resorts that I'm sending you, I feel like there's a little bit of reluctance from the brides and grooms that we're sending these to, being like, oh, well, they missed the mark. And I feel like, and they just kind of like keep moving or move on to somebody else or whatnot. But like in reality, I'm actually trying to get more information from you so I can really hone it in. I don't know how to break down that reluctance though.
It's hard. I guess the answer is it depends.
Good answer.
That's my answer to every freaking question I get. Well, it depends because every situation is unique. No 2 weddings are the same. No 2 clients are the same. So awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We will put everybody's down here, there somewhere. So on Instagram, make sure you guys follow. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, and you can catch our podcast everywhere you watch your podcast. Thanks, guys, very much for joining. We'll see you next time.
It's always sunny down in Mexico.